Well, delighted as ever to be joined by Patrick Mullins. And Patrick, it's a huge week. It's Punchestown, and got some really interesting rides on the opening day, starting with Nakini in the listed mares novice hurdle.
Yeah, busy day. Got 5 rides, which is fantastic. Nakini, yeah, she probably disappointed a bit in Shetland, but I think the ground was gone for her. She's a little light filly. We left her off for the winter. And now look, the ground looks like it's going to be on the slow side tomorrow as well, but I think it'll still be better than it was in Cheltenham. On ratings, she deserves to bang there. I'd hoped she'd be in the first three. I won't be surprised if she wins. But if Night and Day brings her A game, she should be very hard to beat. We've never made any secret of how much we think of her. And obviously she's just been difficult to keep right and keep sound. And she was a little bit, she obviously was very disappointing in Fairyhouse, but this is a drop in class, and I think Night and Day, if she comes back to her best, is the one to beat.
You're back on Diverge, who ran such a promising race in the Supreme at Cheltenham.
Yeah, delighted to be back on him. He ran a cracker. Look, we rode him to run well. It was a big field. We dropped him out, got him settled. Those horses that come off the flat, they tend to race a bit freely because obviously they're used to going a stride faster compared to, say, bumper horses or pointers. So we rode him to run well, and he did run well. Completely different type of race tomorrow. Only 5 runners, and a lot less obviously kind of hustle and bustle, and a lot less atmosphere maybe in Cheltenham. So we can ride them a bit differently here. Looking at it, Idete Thompson always drops out. You'd imagine the McKiernan horse will drop out. Found a 50 has made it in the past. He didn't in Aintree. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. And Fasa Vega can make it or second as well. So I imagine we'll be somewhere off in the first 3. I wouldn't be afraid to make it with him, if there was an uncontested lead. I think we can get closer to Fasa Vega. On what they do at home, look, it'll be very hard to beat Fasa Vega, but being this a smaller field, straight away we're going to be sitting a couple of lengths closer to Fasa Vega, purely by there being less horses in the field. So that should get us closer at the finish as well. But look, Fasa Vega's come out of Cheltenham really well. I worked him during the week. He's in super form, and really I'd expect Fasa Vega to confirm the placings and finish the season on a high.
Patrick, another horse you've kept the ride on, Sir Gerhard, going Lookin Trip again at Punchestown.
Yeah, ran a really good race in the world what used to be the Paddy Power Gold Cup in Fairyhouse. Jumped super. We did a lot of schooling with him since Cheltenham, between Cheltenham and Fairyhouse. And he improved for that. Did he not stay in Cheltenham in the Brown Advisory? Possibly. But there's no 2.5 mile graded race for novices over fences in Punchestown, so our hand was forced a bit. It's the race in Fairyhouse was a hard race. It was soft ground. We went a good gallop. The horses were tired afterwards, so that's going to be a question mark for appreciated Sir Gerhard and James the Burley coming back, I think 16 days after that. That's going to be hanging over them a little bit. But if they can shrug that off, again, Appreciated has just been a little bit disappointing and frustrating his last couple of runs. He seemed to jump off to his left in Fairyhouse for some reason. I'm not sure why he did that, but he seems fine since. And another little worry with Sir Gerhard is he's disappointed here as a bumper horse and as a novice hurdler. So this is going to be an interesting race to watch. And obviously, Rachel Blackmore's horse, Journey With Me, comes here fresh, and that might just be the winning of the race. So, but to be honest, and Fern Lily obviously ran very well in Cork. It's a wide open race. Any of them could win, but I just think maybe the Bromhead horse, being a fresh horse, gives him the edge.
Patrick, a couple of rides in the bumpers. Predators Gold first up in the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, the Land Road bumper. I won it a long time ago on a horse called Moyle Park for Rich Ritchie, and I've chosen the wrong one in it many times since. I think one year I rode on for Nicky Henderson, finished last, and Johnny Burke won on a horse called Very Much So at 25-1. And Jodie Townhouse won with Admirably Chosen recent as well. So look, these sales races are funny because a lot of these horses wouldn't be running now, bar this is a €100,000 race that they qualified for. So it's hard to know what they're going to do. I ride Predators Gold. He's a mass marble horse. Costs a nice bit of money at the store sales, French pedigree. He's a horse for the future. He's a big, strong horse. He'll jump a fence. I like what he's doing at home, but I do think whatever he does, he'll improve in it. Jody is on Storm the Stars, the same owner as I Cardabaugh won the Tattersalls bumper. Those boys are very good at getting the horses ready earlier for these races. He's a more of a flat pedigree, a sharper type, probably a more likely type to win the Land Rover. But I've gone for Petter's Gold because there's just something about him I like. He might not be the best horse tomorrow, but I think going forward, he's a horse to look forward to. So I hope I'm on the right one, but I wouldn't be have my last 5 on it.
And then in the finale, 9th Lock makes racecourse debut as well.
Yeah, 9th Lock, flatbred, footsteps in the stand, lots of speed. Look, he's going to have to settle and he's going to have to stay. He does nice work at home, but with his pedigree, he should be doing nice work. So, and again, these big field Punchestown bumpers they're very tough on horses. You know, a lot of times everyone wants to be handy, but there's no pace. So you jump off near the front, and if there's no pace, you can end up running very free with no cover. But if you drop in and there's no pace, you end up, you know, in the middle of a bumper, getting bumped and getting no run. And they're difficult races to ride in because of the lack of pace generally. So if I can get this fella to settle and get a clear run with him, I think he'll be bang there. But you know, he's going to need to do both of those things.
Patrick, just finally, Punchestown as a track, how do you find it to ride? What sort of horses does it favour?
Very enjoyable track to ride. Very different than Cheltenham. It's actually the inverse. So Cheltenham, the highest point of the track is when you turn out of the back straight, you run downhill to the home straight and you rise up to the finishing line. Whereas Punchestown is the opposite. The lowest point of the track is turning out of the back straight. You climb all the way up to the home straight and you run downhill into the straight. And the straight is pretty much, it does rise a little bit, but then it falls away again. It's pretty much a downhill finish. Short straight as well, only the bare 2 furlongs. So you need a horse that travels, need a horse that it's probably a track that suits more of a speed horse, you know, and a horse maybe that you know, it's quite hard to make up a lot of ground in it, like I said, because of the short straight. And of course, it's the only one of the spring festivals that's right-handed. So the likes of Champ Kiley, Gaelic Warrior should be at an advantage going this direction. Whereas obviously DRF, Leopardstown, Aintree, and Cheltenham are all left-handed. So, and then on the chase track, there's a lot of jumping. You've got 3 down the back straight, you turn across the side, 2 up the side, uphill, and then 2 in the home straight. On the chase track, it's really a track that suits a horse that is a fast, fluid jumper. You know, in Leopardstown, there's only 2 fences in the last kind of 4 or 5 furlongs, whereas there's 4 in Punchestown. So the chase track definitely suits horses that are more fluid jumpers, whereas in Leopardstown, you can kind of get away with that a little bit.